It was nearly 8 o'clock on a Thursday evening, and the Capitol had acquired that strange after-hours quiet that made the building feel less like the center of American government and more like an enormous museum that happened to have several hundred exhausted people trapped inside it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was walking back toward her office with a folder tucked under one arm when she heard a familiar voice behind her. Congresswoman. She turned. Ted Cruz was coming down the hallway, jacket unbuttoned, tie loosened slightly. He had a phone in one hand and a paper coffee cup in the other. Senator. He nodded toward the folder. Still working? She looked at his coffee. You too, apparently. This is my second coffee. That's not a flex. It wasn't intended to be. She smiled despite herself. There was a pause. Neither moved. They had spoken dozens of times in public settings, but public conversation between them usually came with microphones, cameras, staffers, or an audience waiting for one of them to land a punchline. This was different. Cruz gestured toward an alcove a few yards away. Do you have 5 minutes? AOC glanced at her watch. I have 7. Excellent. I'll try to waste only 6. They stepped aside. For a moment, neither said anything. Then Cruz held up his phone. You know what's funny? That you're about to tell me? That too. He showed her a post on the screen. It was a clip of the two of them arguing over legislation, edited so that each seemed to be responding to something the other had said in a completely different context. AOC watched it. That's terrible. It's doing very well. Of course it is. They've got you saying something you never said. They've got you looking reasonable. Cruz laughed. That's defamatory. She handed the phone back. Seriously, though, this is a problem. Which problem? She gestured at the phone. The idea that if two people disagree, the only possible explanation is that one of them is stupid or evil. Cruz's expression changed slightly. You think that's new? No, I think the incentives are new. He considered that. That's fair. She raised an eyebrow. Wow. What? You agreed with me. I do it occasionally. You just have to be patient. She laughed. Then Cruz became more serious. You know what I think people don't understand about Congress? That nobody reads the bills. That's one. He leaned against the wall. They think we're all sitting around in here trying to destroy each other. Some of us are. True. But most of the time, Cruz said, people are trying to figure out what they can actually get done without getting primaried. AOC nodded. That's closer. And sometimes, he continued, the people who agree with you on 90% of something are more dangerous than the people who agree with you on 50%. She looked at him. Because the 90% people know exactly where to hurt you. Exactly. For the first time, the conversation felt less like a political performance. AOC folded her arms. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you actually think most Democrats hate America? Cruz blinked. No. She waited. No, he repeated. Do you actually think most Republicans hate poor people? No. Another pause. Then why? She said. Do we both keep talking like that? Cruz looked down the empty hallway. Because it works. She gave him a tired smile. That's depressing. It's also true. Not always. No, but often enough. A staffer hurried past them, glanced over, realized who was standing there, and immediately looked at the floor. Cruz noticed. See? What? He thought we were plotting. We are. Oh. I'm trying to convince you to support universal health care. And I'm trying to convince you that the federal government can't fix every problem. Then we're getting nowhere. That's the bipartisan tradition. She laughed. Cruz smiled. Then AOC's expression hardened slightly. Here's where I don't get you. Only one place? Tonight, yes. Progress. You talk constantly about government overreach, but you're also willing to use enormous federal power when you think the issue is important enough.